Well, now to the latest on Operation Epic Fury and new video into our newsroom overnight from Beirut. While you were sleeping, several large plumes of smoke emerged from the city's skyline. Israel confirmed it conducted several strikes in Lebanon's capital city and Tehran overnight.
Meantime, the U.S. State Department sounding the alarm this morning for Americans to get out of more than a dozen Middle East countries. Lebanon is on the list, along with Egypt, Israel, Jordan, and the UAE. Several U.S. embassies are closed this morning, including the one in Saudi Arabia, after a drone attack on that compound.
7 News is once again on your side with team coverage this morning, and reporter John Gonzalez and John Rogers at the Alert Desk. Let's get started at the Alert Desk right now with the latest overnight developments.
Yeah, a lot going on. So here's where things stand as of this hour. 6 Americans have been killed, and the Red Crescent is reporting that 787 people have been killed by U.S. and Israeli bombing across Iran since Saturday. The strikes, of course, continued overnight. As you'd mentioned, Israel is conducting simultaneous strikes of Tehran and Beirut. Iran continues to hit U.S. allies throughout the Middle East, and as the U.S. continues attacks, Trump has warned the big wave is yet to come. The U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia was hit by 2 drones as well. Now, the State Department has ordered the mandatory departure of non-emergency U.S. personnel from the region, and last night we learned that President Trump submitted a War Powers Resolution notification to Congress. He wrote the strikes were needed to protect our homeland and defend our allies. And this afternoon, the Trump administration will brief both chambers of Congress individually. So stay with 7 News for the latest.
Well, as tensions escalate overseas, security is visibly increasing here at home. This morning, the U.S. Capitol is under heightened protection. Reporter John Gonzalez picks up our team coverage from there with what that means for the nation's capital. John, good morning.
Adam, good morning to you. And this morning we understand that inside the U.S. Capitol building, top Trump officials have now briefed members of Congress and the so-called Gang of 8. Out here, we are definitely seeing more uniforms, more patrols, more vigilance around the entire U.S. Capitol grounds. Congressional security officials confirmed to us that there is a heightened security here at the Capitol due to the conflict in the Middle East. The House Sergeant at Arms says officers are increasing their visibility out of an abundance of caution. Behind the scenes, Capitol Police are working closely with federal intelligence partners, monitoring global developments in real time. And it's not just here on Capitol Hill. Across the DMV, law enforcement agencies are stepping up. D.C. police say they are closely tracking events overseas. Metro Transit police are increasing their presence inside stations. In Prince George's and Montgomery counties, patrols are expanding. Now, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke to the media yesterday describing what he says was an imminent threat.
If we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, there would have been hearings on Capitol Hill about how we knew that this was going to happen, and we didn't act preemptively to prevent more casualties and more loss of life.
Now, we want to be clear this morning. Authorities say there is no known threat in the United States this morning. Even so, travelers are being warned abroad. The State Department updated advisories for Israel, the West Bank, Gaza, and several Gulf nations, urging Americans to reconsider or not travel to the Middle East right now. Reporting live on Capitol Hill, John Gonzalez, 7 News.
This morning, the world is waiting for answers on who is now running Iran and what comes next. Reporter Christian Flores picks up our team coverage. He talked to a prominent opposition leader who fled Iran nearly 20 years ago.
They broke my wrist and they destroyed my knee. They broke 50 bones in my body.
Amir Fakhrivar wears his past on his face and body.
A lot of scars on my face.
Permanent reminders of why he left his home country of Iran.
When I was 16, that was the first time I was arrested. The charge was criticizing the supreme leader. I spent more than 5 years in prison, under torture, in solitary confinement. Trust me, the tortures in Iranian prison is not easy.
That pain and suffering birthing a revolution.
At the prison cell, we created this organization.
Fakhrivar and fellow political prisoners created the National Iranian Congress, an organization that has pushed for regime change in Iran. A change that could be on the horizon in the wake of joint U.S.-Israel military strikes killing the Ayatollah.
The entire world have been waiting to see him getting killed, and that is one of the moments everybody will remember.
What is next for Iran? What do you hope happens next? What are the steps that need to be taken?
The answer is not to go back to another absolutism, either king or supreme leader or whatever. The answer is to go toward a constitution, rule of law. Every nation needs one Thomas Jefferson to come up with the idea of constitution.
Fakhrivar wants to construct a constitution with collaboration.
We invited the various opposition figures to come together from the different groups to come together and start the conversation.
Conversation leading to words on a page.
This is possible. If it was not possible, last week, 3 days ago, after seeing the supreme leader is getting killed like this, it's very possible. And fighting for life, liberty, and equality before the law for everyone.
Christian Flores, 7 News.
Stay connected with us for breaking news about Iran. You can get alerts sent straight to your phone by downloading the free 7 News app. And coming up at 6:30, we'll get reaction from members of the DMV's Iranian community.
I'm Christine Frizzau on Capitol Hill, where some lawmakers are sounding alarm bells about the possibility of sleeper cells, individuals or groups of people who may have entered the country illegally and have been quietly waiting in the shadows, with a new motivation to attack following U.S. attacks in Iran. As attacks continue to be carried out across the Middle East, growing concerns about the ones that haven't yet happened here at home.
You have people that entered the United States illegally and may have a very strong affiliation to Iran or a direct affiliation to Iran, and they might be here for the purpose of acting against us.
Bernard Zaper, the former Deputy Assistant Director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, says rising fears of so-called sleeper cells should be taken seriously, since many in Iran are taught from a young age they will be rewarded in the afterlife for carrying out certain actions. And the current attacks in Iran and killing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei could be motivation.
It's a direct call to action for somebody that has radicalized Islamic beliefs, and they're called to act, and they're using the highest justification for murdering people.
The weekend shooting at a bar in Austin, Texas, that left 2 dead and more than a dozen injured is being investigated as potentially an act of terrorism. The suspect, seen in this photo wearing a Property of Allah sweatshirt with reports that his T-shirt underneath contained a photo of the Iranian flag. Possible threats like this giving Republicans more fuel for their argument that the pause to funding for the Department of Homeland Security should be lifted.
The Democrats are highly irresponsible to keep Homeland Security unfunded while we're in the middle of a war against the world's worst state sponsor of terrorism.
It's an argument Democrats say they aren't buying.
The Republicans are saying that because they launched an illegal, disastrous war in Iran, we should give them permission to continue using ICE to murder American citizens, to allow them to get the funding to tear gas schools. No.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was asked about the potential for sleeper cells during a press briefing at the Pentagon. He said the Iranian regime is one that seeks to export its ideology and sow terror, but the top officials here at home are, quote, ready for that. He said the American people can rest assured they're being vigilant on that threat. I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.